So Washington's got a big new idea for one of its toughest national security problems, our reliance on other countries for critical minerals. They're calling it the shortcut strategy. But here's the thing, is it really a strategy, or is it a shortcut to a dead end?
And that really gets to the heart of it. This is the uncomfortable truth behind this whole policy push. The United States is trying to solve a deep, structural, industrial problem with a financial gimmick. It's trying to buy something that can only be built.
All right, so what exactly are we talking about here? It's called a critical minerals price floor. The idea is pretty simple. The US and its allies would promise to buy essential minerals like lithium and cobalt at a guaranteed minimum price. The goal, they say, is to shield their own producers from China's power to flood the market and just crush prices. Sounds good on paper, right? But there's a huge, fundamental flaw in this logic.
Which brings us to our first huge problem, the illusion of control. Think about it. You can't set the rules in a game you're not even dominating. You cannot set a price floor in a house you don't own. And when it comes to critical minerals, let's be honest, the West is not in the driver's seat.
Okay, to really get how big this problem is, you have to look at the numbers. Let's start with gallium. This stuff is absolutely essential for things like advanced semiconductors and military radar. China refines 98.7% of the entire global supply. That's basically all of it.
And this isn't a one-off. Look at rare earths. These are the elements that power everything from our most advanced fighter jets to the motor in every single electric vehicle. China controls 91% of the refining. And that's the key word there, refining. It means even if you dig the minerals up somewhere else, guess where they almost always have to go to get processed? China.
You see this pattern again and again. Take natural graphite, a critical component in every EV battery on the planet. China produces 79% of it. The West isn't just falling behind here, it's barely in the game. A price floor on mining, it doesn't even begin to touch this level of dominance.
So let's be crystal clear about this. Forget about who digs the ore out of the ground for a second. The real choke point, the place where all the power lies, is in the processing, the refining, the smelting, all the complex industrial work that turns a rock into something you can actually use. China controls 85% of that. A price floor is a band-aid for the mining stage. It does absolutely nothing, 0%, to fix the actual problem.
And this complete control of the supply chain, well, it leads us right to the second fatal flaw in this whole price floor idea, the patience problem. See, this isn't some fair competition between two market economies. This is a strategic contest, and one side is playing a much, much longer game.
Look, Beijing has run this play before. We know how it works. Step 1, use massive amounts of state money to build way more capacity than anyone else. Step 2, the moment a Western competitor pops up, flood the market. Sell minerals for less than they even cost to produce just to crash the price. Step 3, this makes it impossible for any private Western company to make money, so they go bust. And step 4, the final move. Just wait. They know that in the West, political priorities and budgets can change completely every few years.
And it all boils down to this one crucial quote: Western political will is a perishable commodity. Beijing's isn't. A price floor needs a sustained, unified commitment from a whole group of countries for decades. China's strategy? It just needs the unwavering will of a single, centralized government.
Okay, so that brings us to problem number 3. And this one's about hypocrisy. It's the cheating charge. Because a government-backed price floor, well, it's not just a tweak to the market. It's something the US has a very specific name for when other countries do it.
I mean, you really can't make this up.
For decades, the United States has been at the World Trade Organization, the WTO, filing complaint after complaint against China for using illegal state subsidies and distorting the market. And now, the U.S. is proposing a price floor which is, by its very definition, a coordinated government subsidy designed to distort the market. It's the exact same thing.
And you don't have to be a genius to see where this leads. First, it completely undermines America's credibility and opens the U.S. and its allies up to totally legitimate legal challenges at the WTO. It also corrupts the market, tricking investors into pouring money into projects that can't actually survive on their own. And worst of all, it creates these incredibly fragile supply chains, a house of cards built on taxpayer money that will collapse the second the political winds change and the subsidies dry up.
So, okay, if the shortcut is a trap, what's the real answer? That brings us to our final section, the real path. And this is the path that admits there are no easy answers, no quick fixes. The hard truth is, real independence isn't something you announce at a press conference. It's something you build,
over a very long time. It starts right now, in years 0 to 2, with the boring but essential work of fixing the permitting process so projects can actually get approved. Then for the next 5 years or so, you're building refineries and processing plants. It's only after that, from year 7 on, that you can really develop the mines and train the people to run them. We're talking about a 15 to 20-year project for real, end-to-end independence.
This just lays it all out, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the shortcut. It's instant. A politician can announce it tomorrow and claim victory. But look at the impact. It builds absolutely zero real infrastructure. It opens you up to legal trouble, and it's totally dependent on shaky political will. Now look at the right, the real work. Yeah, the timeline is long, 15 to 20 years, but the outcome is totally different. You get actual mines, actual refineries, a skilled workforce, and a supply chain that can stand on its own 2 feet. It's the difference between a temporary patch and a permanent fix.
What this all comes down to is a simple fact. Strategic self-reliance is not a financial product. You can't just buy it off a shelf with some clever market trick. It has to be earned. Earned with steel, with concrete, with investment, and with a generational commitment to actually building things again.
In the end, this whole price floor idea, it's really a confession, isn't it? It's admitting that the real work is just seen as too hard, too politically inconvenient to even try. But history is very clear on this. For any nation that's serious about its own security, its own future, there is no shortcut to strategic depth. There never has been.